Welcome, and thank you for tuning in to the Life Lesson Lounge. Today's story is about the quiet struggle many seniors face when financial reality collides with lifelong independence. Today's story is titled Pennies and Pride. If you can relate to our stories, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and click the notification bell so you'll be notified as new stories are uploaded. She had worked her whole life with steady hands and an honest heart, but in her later years, Helen Brooks found herself counting coins just to buy bread. This is her story, of pride, of struggle, and of learning that accepting help does not diminish dignity. It builds community. Helen Brooks sat at her small kitchen table, a stack of bills spread before her. The numbers didn't lie. Her Social Security check covered the basics, but barely. Rising medical costs, higher food prices, and the ever-present prescription bottles lined up on her counter left little room for anything else. She opened her coin purse, slowly sliding pennies and nickels into neat little stacks. Helen, murmuring to herself, said, "Groceries or the gas bill? Groceries or the gas bill? Lord, I've never had to choose like this before." The refrigerator hummed, nearly empty inside. Pride kept her from calling her daughter Angela or mentioning her struggles to anyone. Helen had raised her children to stand tall and work hard. Asking for help now felt like a sign of failure. Her daughter Angela stopped by one evening after a long nursing shift. She noticed the half-filled cupboards, the dimly lit living room with only one lamp on. Angela enters and calls out to her mother, "Mama, did you forget to change that light bulb?" "The house feels so dark," Helen replies. "No, baby, I don't use the lights much." Saves on the bill, Angela's brow furrowed, but Helen quickly changed the subject. She didn't want pity. Later that week, Helen's neighbor, Mr. Davis, dropped by to return a pie dish. He noticed Helen's careful steps, her weary eyes. "Helen, you've lost weight," he remarked gently. She forced a smile. "Just watching my figure, that's all." But Mr. Davis knew. He had seen the same look in the mirror when his own wife passed and the bills piled up. One afternoon, Helen stood in the grocery store aisle, clutching a carton of eggs. Her hands trembled as she checked the price tag. She placed the eggs back, then reached for a cheaper brand of bread. Even then, she counted coins at the register, embarrassed when she had to return a jar of peanut butter because she didn't have enough. A young cashier smiled kindly, but Helen's cheeks burned. She left the store with only a small bag of basics and an even heavier heart. That evening, she wept quietly in her kitchen. Pride had carried her far in life, but now it felt like a heavy burden she could no longer manage alone. The next morning, Mr. Davis knocked at her door. "Helen," he said, "there's a community luncheon at the senior center today. They serve a hot meal, no charge. Why don't you come with me?" Helen stiffened. "I don't need charity, Davis." "I'm just fine," Mr. Davis smiled knowingly. "It's not charity, it's neighbors breaking bread together." "Besides, I'd like the company reluctantly," Helen agreed. At the community center, she was greeted warmly by Miss Ramirez. Tables were full of seniors sharing stories, laughter, and plates of hearty food. At first, Helen kept her eyes down, embarrassed. But when Ms. Ramirez set a plate of roasted chicken and vegetables before her, Helen whispered a quiet prayer of thanks. Ms. Ramirez looked lovingly at Mrs. Brooks and said, "Mrs. Brooks, you've spent your life giving. This is just a chance to receive. That's what community is about." In the weeks that followed, Helen began attending the senior center regularly. She discovered not only meals, but friendships, classes, and even a support group where seniors shared their struggles. She learned she wasn't alone. Others were battling the same rising costs, the same silent fears. Angela noticed a change in her mother. There was more light in her voice, more hope in her eyes. Angela hugged her mother and said, "Mama, you seem lighter somehow." Helen, her heart much lighter, smiles and says, "Baby, I thought asking for help meant losing my pride. But I found out that leaning on others only makes us stronger." For Helen Brooks, pennies and pride once stood between her and the help she needed. But when she let go of fear, she discovered that dignity isn't lost when we accept help. It's found in the strength of community. If you or someone you love is struggling on a fixed income, remember, there is no shame in seeking support. Food programs, community centers, and family can provide more than meals. They can restore hope. Thank you for listening. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe so we can continue bringing you stories of resilience and hope. True dignity isn't lost when we accept help. It grows stronger in the arms of community. God places us in community so that when our strength runs low, love can carry us through.